YouTube, it is Katie and welcome to the video. Today we are discussing my toxic traits. This is a video idea that I got from Kai Foster. She is another Black creator. She is a vlogger. She just moved to Atlanta and I really like her content. She's actually not a vlogger. She doesn't vlog very often. She's more just like a sit-down talk kind of girly, which is I'm slowly becoming. I really like her content and she is the one who came up with this idea, so please check out her video. I will have it linked for you in the description. But today, we're going to be talking about my toxic traits. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I feel like nobody does. This is a similar idea that Kyra mentioned in her video, but on YouTube, the idea is positivity first, second, third, and fourth. No one ever talks about the bad things. And I've started to really like YouTube channels that talk about bad things sometimes, so I feel like I would be a bit of a hypocrite if I didn't do that myself. I wanted to put these in order of like which is the most worst to which is the least bad. But there's only one that I can think of that is extremely just much worse than the others, so that'll be my last one I'm just straight to for it. But as for the others, we're gonna start with toxic trait number 1. I want things that I don't want. That sentence makes no sense, but it will just allow me to explain. This trait comes from FOMO, which is fear of missing out, and it's just, I was never able to be peer pressured in the traditional sense. If there was something that you wanted to do in a moment, and I didn't want to do it in that same moment, then I wasn't going to do it. Peer pressure in me works a little bit differently. All you have to do is do the thing that you want to do, right? And then tell me about doing it. That's all it takes. Then I'm gonna want to do it too, even though I know I don't want to do that thing. Even though I have no desire to do it, I'm gonna want to do it. It's such a quirky trait of mine. So weird. One of the things that I want that I don't want, for example. Yeah, I'm gonna say it, is to try acid. I don't want to be high on acid. I don't want to do acid. That's not a desire that I have. Had you asked me a few years ago, I wouldn't have wanted to do it. The reason that I don't want to do it is number 1, it's acid. Number 2, I'm just a little too aware of the fact that acid is poison. It's just a small dose of poison. Like, I don't say that to be, picking drugs like that. No, it's literally poison. And I'm just a little bit too aware of that to not be paranoid the whole time that I'm on it. The final reason I don't want to do it is because I'm a lightweight. My body has a very strong reaction to things. So I feel like doing something even more intense than what I've already done is going to kill me. I feel like I'll die, and dying isn't really on the agenda. One of my friends, multiples of my friends actually at this point, have tried acid. Apparently people just do all the drugs in college, and I knew there would be some weed, I knew there would be some shrooms, but we got people out here on some serious shit. So as my friends are trying more and more drugs, acid keeps coming up, and it's become something I want to do that I know I don't want to do. I know I don't want to do that, but do I? Another thing that I want to do that I don't want to do is getting a tattoo. I always imagine what would happen if somehow my videos or a moment in time, time traveled and me from the past could see it. Me in high school, right? This is something I've been doing for a long time. I've noticed this trait a lot in college, but it's something that I've always done. So we'll go back to before college. Me in high school. Look yourself in the face and tell us that you want to get a tattoo. You can't, because you don't. You don't, and yet you know exactly what you would get and where you would put it, because other people talk about wanting tattoos. Other people have tattoos, so you're like, well, they like it, so maybe I would like it too. You're dumb. You're silly. You're stupid. You don't want a tattoo. You don't like pain. Thought of being stabbed thousands of times with a needle disgusts you. You don't want something on your body because what if you don't like it, or what if it just bothers you to see it, and you're just always going to be looking at it. And you don't care enough about anything to get it tattooed on your body. You don't want a tattoo. And yet you do. And that's toxic trait is a tendency to overthink every single social interaction. I am reluctant to try and associate myself with social anxiety or any kind of anxiety, but the way I just be thinking about stuff sometimes, I'm like, maybe a therapist would have a different opinion. If you're my friend, I want you to know that anything we've ever done together required a lot of mental energy. Let's say that I just wanted to call someone and ask them if they could come over, right? My friend, okay? First of all, I'm gonna be like, well, should I call or should I text? Because what if they don't like phone calls? But what if they don't like text messages? We usually text, but what if they don't want to text for something official? Like, should they come over? Maybe I should call instead. But I've never called them before. Like, what if they're busy right now? But what if they're busy right now so they don't see my text, and then they never see my text because it's easier to miss text than it is to miss call? Maybe I should call, I don't know. I should call, maybe I should text, I don't know. Maybe I'll send them an email. They're never gonna check their email. Okay, but I can send them like an idea. Oh, maybe I should like talk to them through Snapchat. But if I get them on Instagram, yes, I'll send them an Instagram DM. But that's kind of weird because they know I have their number, so maybe I should just text. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know why I feel like I need to do this. But every time that I want to open my mouth and say something to somebody, I have to go through a round of mental gymnastics first. It gets me in trouble when I'm trying to communicate with my boyfriend in particular because he knows that I do this. He clocks me when I'm doing it. So, like, he'll say something so simple. Something so simple, and I will spend like a solid 45 seconds trying to think of a response before he's like, what do you just say what you're thinking, like what's going on? But like I don't know, like I don't want to upset you and I don't want to inconvenience you, but I also don't want to overthink it and then end up upsetting you and inconveniencing you with whatever plan I came up with during my overthinking. So it's like, do I go with my instinct or do I think about it a little more? Or it's hard for me to just do things and like accept that I can do the wrong thing, or I can do maybe not even the wrong thing, but just not the best thing, and that's okay. The next toxic trait is that I expect too much from others. This goes both ways. By that I mean, on one hand, right? On this hand, I expect them to do what I want them to do. But on the other hand, when I don't do what they want me to do, I expect them to understand why I wouldn't do that thing. So like, one of these expectations that I have successfully shed, and I still have the expectation, but I know that like it's too much, so I don't actively expect it, but one of them is that if we're friends, I would like it if you would text me consistently. Like if we would text every day, every other day, just like consistency, right? People don't like to do that all the time. People don't always want to text. People have things to do with their day. I get that because I am that person sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, girl, I don't have time for this right now. I'm studying, like I'll catch you later. I'm busy. But for some reason, this was such a hard concept for me to understand, like why other people would do it. I can't tell you how many conversations I used to have with my friends about, like, why aren't you talking to me more? And it wasn't like we never spoke. It wasn't like they were so distant from me that we weren't even qualified as friends. It would just be like, why didn't you talk to me yesterday? You talked to me 2 days ago, so what was the problem yesterday? And it was just kind of like forgetting that my friends had other friends and other things to do. So I was just expecting like the world from them when all they had to provide was like a normal friendship, you know what I'm saying? But I also like wasn't really considering my own flaws in doing that. Like whenever one of my flaws would be pointed out, I would be like, okay, well I do that because this and that. And that would be the end of the conversation for me. Like you understand why, so what's the issue? And it's just taken a little bit of time for me to realize, like, I can't expect people to jump hurdles for me, but then when they ask me to jump hurdles for them, I'm like, oh, well, actually, my leg is broken. And that's a fine reason not to jump the hurdle, but when they tell me their leg is broken, I can't be like, no baby, figure it out. My fourth toxic trait is that I complain too much. I didn't used to think that this was a toxic trait because everybody complains about things. Everybody has things that go wrong in their life. But I started to recognize that I was complaining a lot about the same thing over and over. It was the kind of thing where it was something that wouldn't change in a day. Or like something that wouldn't change because you didn't want it to change, but you could still complain. Like say you don't like your main manager, but you like all the other managers, you like the pay, you like the job generally, but you don't like the main manager. I would complain about the main manager every time that I had them, and it just got to a point where people were like, well, just quit the job. And I'm like, no, I like the job. I just don't like this bitch. And it was just excessive. I was just annoying people, and it's not so much about annoying people, it's about me finally realizing that always being on the receiving end of someone's misfortune, someone's unhappiness, someone's sadness, someone's anger, always receiving negative emotions from somebody pulls you down as well. Everyone needs a space to be heard, and sometimes it ends up becoming a helpful back and forth where you complain, they complain, you complain, they complain, and then you guys have gotten things off of your chests and you're able to feel better and go on about your day. But complaining consistently is where I think I went wrong. And I don't want to put myself in a position where I have to hear that I'm being too negative. I would rather just tell myself than tell someone else and bring them down in the process. It's kind of hard for me, that one, if I'm being completely honest, because it doesn't make me feel like I can be fully open with people. I feel like I have to pull back a lot. The last two, my expectations and my complaining, they make me feel like I have to pull back from my friendships and treat them as something that I don't want them to be. But I've had to accept that that's normal. It's a hard balance to find of being able to express myself, being able to talk to people as much as I want to talk to them, being able to limit myself from people as much as I want to limit myself from them, but also recognizing that those people have feelings and boundaries and limits as well, and that I have to work inside of them. And even if it inconveniences me, how they feel is still important. And like, I know that, I've always known that, but I guess I've always felt like if we're really supposed to be around each other, if we're really friends, if we're really like a good sibling or a good cousin or a good boyfriend or a good dog, like if we're really supposed to be in each other's lives, our ways of socializing will click together and we will want the same things all the time. But you don't ever want the same thing as someone every single time. That's not possible. Unexpected twist. I'm getting sad. Like if you do a bad thing, it's usually not because you're just a terrible person and you want people to suffer. Like usually there's a reason that it's important to you, and you have to figure out what that reason is and find a way to work past it. Because you can't just bring people down just because it's nice for you. With all of that being said, it's time to discuss my most toxic trait, my worst trait. This is one that you hear associated with toxicity the most. People are like, if people do this, they're toxic, get them out of your life, run far, far away. And I hope that by admitting this, any of my friends who see it will not feel inclined to run far, far away, because I am working on it. I'm doing the best that I can. I am the way I am, and I don't understand why, but I'm at least trying to change it. So my most toxic trait is jealousy. A lot of people are afraid to admit that they are jealous. Everyone gets jealous at some point in their life. It's a normal human emotion. The issue for me with my jealousy is that it comes a lot. Namely because of that whole fear of missing out or wanting things I don't want thing. The jealousy comes a lot, and like I'll get jealous of stuff that I did not even want, or stuff that I did want, but I will get jealous a lot. And you know, if I'm being honest, sometimes my friends get things that I want, and I'm happy for them. I'm genuinely happy, and that's all that I feel. Sometimes my friends get things that I want, and I'm happy for them, but I'm also acknowledging that I want that thing, and I will be jealous of them as well, and just feel like that friend has everything, and they always get everything they want, and I don't, and I'll just be like a typical jealous person. course, I don't tell them that, because even if I can't quite change the emotion in that instance, I'm at least going to try and be a supportive friend. So I'll still, congratulate them on whatever, or just say what needs to be said in that moment. It kind of depends on the situation, but I'll still say what needs to be said. But there are some occasions where I don't actually feel any positivity for the situation, and I'm just very upset. And it's not my friend's fault. It's me being insecure and upset about my failings, or about the things that I lack, or the things I want. It's my own insecurity coming out. It's my own issues with my own life. It's not my friend's fault that I feel that way, so I don't try and take it out on them. I don't let my jealousy come out. I keep it at bay as much as I can, and I also have to learn not only to keep it at bay, but to not feel it. To understand that it's okay for I'm sorry if you can hear this motorcycle. To understand that it's okay for other people to have things, even if I don't have the things that I want, Everybody's time comes at a different time. I feel like it's very taboo to admit that you get jealous of people. Because, as I said, it is regarded as one of the worst traits. If you are ever jealous of someone, that is usually taken as a sign to them that you two should have absolutely nothing to do with each other. But it happens. I didn't expect this video to make me so sad. Maybe I'm just a bad person, Maybe I'm just toxic, maybe I'm just a narcissist, maybe I just suck. But, what am I to do about that? Other than work on it, do the best I can, and try and grow and improve, and that's what I'm doing now, Once I do that, I won't have much of a reason to feel jealous of people anymore, because I will have all the things I want. I feel like once I'm happier with myself and with where I am in life, where other people are won't bother me as much. And I've seen that be true in certain instances, where once I got a certain thing, I started having the ability to be happy for other people having that thing, where I couldn't before because I didn't have it. But I would like to move past that as well. I would like to be in a place where even if I don't have the thing, even if I'm nowhere near having the thing, it's okay for you to have it. Go on, enjoy yourself. And I can tell you that. I will tell you that right now. But I don't want to just tell you. I want to actually feel it. I want to actually not experience this intense jealousy that I have towards other people who are important in my life. I want to just be able to support the people in my life wholeheartedly. That was a lot. It was only 5 toxic traits, but it was a lot for me to get through. A lot of introspection. Kind of hurt my own feelings, but it's cool. I am doing a challenge right now where I'm uploading every single day for 30 days and trying to get to 100 subscribers. So if you would like to help me with that, press subscribe, increase my number, get me closer to my goal, and you can tune back in tomorrow for another entertaining video. Hopefully I will, almost cry a little less, but we'll see. You never know with these challenges. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Please click on some of my links to be taken to my other videos. My most recent video will also be up there since I'm doing a 30-day challenge. If you're watching this any day other than when I first uploaded, you'll see. And I promise you, it's going to be a good one. Please go in the comment section down below if you're not feeling too shy, and let me know some of your own toxic traits. I know that they're hard to admit. These ones were hard for me to admit, hard for me to talk about, apparently. But knowing that there is a problem is the first step to fixing the problem. So hopefully we can talk to each other about this. I hope you can click on and enjoy some of my links, and see you guys next time.